What's up, guys? Welcome back to my podcast. I'm super excited to have you guys joining me back here today. And I hope you guys enjoyed our last episode where I talked about what love means and what it's all about, because I really poured out my heart on that podcast. And I encourage you to go check it out. It's my first podcast, and I believe that you will listen to that podcast and you will learn so much from it. It will open your eyes to what love truly means in a relationship, or what it means to actually love somebody. And having that foundation will help you so much in ensuring that you build a healthy relationship that leads to a godly and successful marriage. Like you already know, my name is Prophet and I'm a relationship coach, and I'm here to bless your life. So today I have an interesting topic for us. I want to share with us things I wish I knew before I got into a relationship. So it's an interesting topic, it's an interesting conversation. I have learned so many things being in some relationship. I think one or two. So I've learned so many things that I wish I knew before I got into this relationship, and I am very positive that you will learn from these things that I wish I knew, and it will help you to prepare yourself too before you get into a relationship, in case you're single. And if you're already in a relationship, I believe it will help you to manage your expectation, and also to check things that you're not actually getting right, and work on those things and start getting them right. So let's dive into this video. Let's dive into this podcast today. And remember to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're watching on other podcast platform, please do well to also subscribe on those platforms. You can actually catch the episodes on Apple Podcast or Anchor Podcast. So I'm super excited to have you listen to this and learn from me. So in today's show, into this podcast, things I wish I knew. So what's the first thing I think I wish I knew before I got into a relationship? I would say for me, it's knowing that it's important to discover myself before I discover the person who fits into my life. This is one thing that a lot of us don't do today. Like, a lot of people just wake up one morning and they're like, oh, I want a relationship, and they jump into a relationship, and they go into the relationship trying to experiment. Is this person the right person for me? And as a result of this, we have a lot of people get heartbroken every day. Like, things happen and they are broken because I discovered that most times when we don't know who we are, we end up with people who are not meant for us. But if you take the time to actually discover yourself as a person, discover your abilities, discover the kind of person who you are, grow your self-awareness, grow your self-esteem, do all these things that has to do with self. First of all, it equips you to know the kind of person that will fit into your life. That's the way it works. So if you don't know who you are, you will allow everything to come into your life, and you also make room for people who are not right for you to come into your life. And when those people come into your life, they will wreck your life for you. They will make you feel like you're not worthy. Because I discovered that a lot of people that have low self-esteem in their relationships today, or even inside their marriage today, it's as a result of not understanding their identity as a person. That's why they allowed themselves to get involved with people that way. And even when people stay in abusive relationships too, it's because they lack identity of who they are. I believe that's part of it. They lack identity of who they are, because if you know who you are, like I said earlier, it makes it easy for you to know who should fit in. So let's say, for instance, you as a person, you discover that you're a quiet person, and let's say, for instance, you probably don't want a loud person. I know sometimes opposites attract, sometimes they don't. But then if you're a quiet person, you might not want somebody who is too loud. It's possible. You want somebody who is a little bit quiet too. But if you don't know that about yourself, you probably get involved with somebody who is too loud, and they will come and they will be themselves. They will try to love you the way they could, but you discover that you are not satisfied because of something that they are doing. I'm not saying that when you find who you are, that you find everything that you want in another person. No, it's not possible. But then it gives you the opportunity to actually take your time and investigate and find that person who at least fits into your life. There is someone for you out there not just one person, because I know there is this narrative that people ask a lot, is there like one person for me? If I miss this person, I will never ever find somebody else. No, there is no one person for you. There are so many options that you could possibly be compatible with, or you can possibly be okay with. But then for you to be able to meet that person, for you to be able to sift through the 100 persons, the 1,000 persons that you know physically online, to down to that one person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, it requires you to actually know who you are as a person and understand who you are as a person, and it will help you figure that out. I wish I really knew this before getting into my first ever relationship, because I discovered along the line that I had dreams or things I wanted to do as a person, that this person is not in alignment with like this person's dreams, or what this person wants to do, or the level they want to get to in life. It doesn't really match up. You see, if I had taken the time to invest in myself, to actually figure out what I want, where I'm going to, like if I know what I know today, I wouldn't have gotten into that relationship. This is why, personally, for me, I don't think it's right for people to get into relationship when they are still in secondary schools or even early days of their universities. Yeah, I know if this was mentioned to me back then, I probably might dispute it, but right now, I believe that people should actually hold on before getting into this relationship stuff, because the earlier you get into a relationship when you're not ready, the more chances you will make a lot of mistakes, and some of these mistakes might not leave you the same. Some of these mistakes probably might ruin your life, it might ruin opportunities for you and stuff like that. So I believe that even if you want to get into a relationship, you should come to a point, it should be at a particular stage in your life where you are fully self-aware of who you are. You have done the assignment to discover who you are. You have done the assignment to know what works for you, where you are going to in life. I'm not saying that you probably need to discover everything. We even right now I'm here, I have not discovered everything that I need to do in this life, or about everything about myself. But then there is a percentage of who you are that you need to know, and it will help you stay informed in the kind of person that needs to fit into that kind of life. Remember that the Bible said in Genesis that when Adam saw Eve, he said, "This is the bone of my bone, the flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." And even before that, God saw that Adam was alone. He said, "Let us make a helpmate suitable for him." So God was looking for somebody who is suitable. It's just like when you get, what's it called again? Is it a puzzle? You get a cube and you get another cube, bigger one and smaller one, and they fit into each other. If you bring a round thing and a cube, if you try to fit it in, it probably won't fit in, because they are not compatible, or they are not of the same shape and can't lock into each other, just the way your hands lock into each other. Some people, they get into a relationship where they can't be together. They are not suitable for each other, just because they didn't take time to discover themselves. I know I've had somebody else say that, well, get into a relationship, date multiple people so that you discover what you want. That's a concept, and a lot of people push that. But the reason that I'm against that concept is because it is founded on a selfish place. What I mean by it's founded on a selfish place is because when you are just going out there to just date, to get to know what you want, or discover who you really like, or things you like and stuff like that, you don't know about the other person. If they are in a position where they are also experimenting, or they are in a position where they already know who they are and they are looking for something serious, and you eventually get into that in a relationship with that person, what will happen is that as much as you're experimenting to figure out what you want, the person is serious about it. And when you finally are done with your experiment and you want to leave, you discover that you probably be hurting somebody. You see why I said it's based on a selfish motive? And sometimes too, it's possible that you end up hurting yourself too. So just imagine you're just experimenting and the relationship breaks, or maybe this person does something to you. You get hurt, because the hurt people are getting as they keep dating. That's how trust issue breeds itself. Like insecurity, people feeling men are this, women are that. It's because of this dating, continuous dating, jumping from one man to another, one woman to another. You see, it doesn't work that way. So, but if you take your time, discover who you are, and invest in that person you have discovered to reach some level of to reach some capacity, it will help you to know the kind of person that should fit into your life. And when you see that person, it becomes easy for you to know that this is the person. So that means For some people, the reason why they have not found the one for them is because they have not discovered themselves, so they don't know who is supposed to fit. But if you know yourself, if you discover yourself, once you see that person, you know that this is the right person for me. I think I know we fit into each other, because this is the trajectory my life is going, and this person's life too is going towards that direction. We're moving towards the same direction, and it becomes easy for you. I know this is somehow, but then you have to consider it. Think about it. Really think about it. So the next thing I wish I really knew before I got into a relationship is that you can only experience purity in a relationship if you date someone who is also in pursuit of purity. Like I normally tell people, if you don't want to have sex in a relationship, you should try as much as possible to get in a relationship with somebody who doesn't want to have sex. Because a lot of people get into a relationship and they are trying to convince the person that they are in a relationship with that they shouldn't be having sex in that relationship, or that they shouldn't have sex in that relationship. It doesn't work. It's very difficult, because they'll keep pestering you. Sometimes some guys agree to these terms in hope that you will give in later, but you don't need somebody who has that ideology of, oh, we have to have sex in this relationship before you prove to me that you love me and stuff like that. Once a guy start pushing that narrative, or once a lady start pushing that narrative, just know that there is pressure coming in front of you. There's pressure waiting somewhere in front of that relationship. When they'll start putting you under pressure to give in into having sex in that relationship, you need somebody who is a proponent, or somebody who is also pursuing that purity, who wants a relationship where sex doesn't exist until marriage. That's what you need. If you get into a relationship with somebody who doesn't see it that way, it's very, very difficult. I know some people navigate it, but then in some cases we get to see men or get to see women who go about looking like they are faithful to their partner who says no to sex, but on the other hand they go outside and they have sex with other people to satisfy their sexual urges and stuff like that. So I believe that if you really want to maintain purity in your relationship, you should look for somebody else who really wants to maintain purity. That's the only way, so that even when both of you are tempted, you maybe when you are weak, the other person is strong, and when the other person is weak, you are strong. Both of you can help each other to navigate, not the other way around. I hope this is clear. So I want to move faster. So the next thing I wish I knew was that you can never force someone to become who you imagine them to be if that's not their own goal too. I know a lot of us get into relationships. I did too. And we have these imaginations of who we want our wife or our husband or our partner to be. Like sometimes we create these pictures in our mind of everything we want. But the truth is that you can't actually get that person to become that thing you want if they don't want it to. So it means that in as much as you have big dreams for who you are dating or who you want to get into a relationship with, they need to have that dreams for themselves too, because it will only end in frustration for you. Because I've been in situations where you are trying to push somebody to become better, you are trying to help them to become better, you are trying to push them to succeed and pursue their goal, but it seems like all effort you are making doesn't move them at all, because they are comfortable where they are. That's not what they want to do. That's not who they want to become. So that's why most times it's very, very hard to come into a relationship and you are trying to change somebody. It doesn't work. That's why it's very, very important. Like the first point I made, it's very, very important that you know yourself and you know the kind of person that you need. And the kind of person you need, when you find her or when you find him, people are heading towards the same direction. They want to achieve the same thing, or they want to achieve a particular thing. So it's easy for you guys to actually have a relationship where you are working hand in hand, bettering each other and growing as a partner. Not where you're coming in and you have an imagination of what you think they could become, but then they don't want to live up to that expectation. Because so somehow I believe it's also selfish from my end, or maybe from your end, trying to make somebody become what they don't want to be. Yes, there are some people, for example, who want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, that's all they want to do. They just want to stay at home, take care of the kids, homeschool the kids if that's what it calls for, or do some other stuff at home. They never want to get a job. They don't want to go out and do anything. And if you get married to that kind of person and you want to push her to maybe get a career or do something with her degree or go to school, you are the one looking for trouble. you are the one looking for trouble, because that's not what they want. That's why it's important you communicate these things at the early stage to see if they are the kind of person that want to be a career woman, or a kind of different kind of man, or a stay-at-home mom, or a stay-at-home dad. This also applies to somebody who also wants to be a career woman, and you go and get married to her, and now you want her to be a stay-at-home mom. You're the one looking for trouble. So stop looking for trouble. Look for what you want. That's the need for communication. Talk about these things with any potentials that you're considering getting married to or dating. See if they buy into the idea of being a stay-at-home mom, being a career woman, or like what they want to do with their life, so that you know if this person actually fits into your life or into your dreams, so that you not be imagining something so big for them. At the end of the day, they just want to be at home and take care of you and take care of the kids. So it's very, very important, because this can lead to a lot of frustration. I really wish I knew this before I got into a relationship. So the next point I'll be talking about today is that it takes someone who really loves you and wants to be with you to make the necessary adjustments and sacrifices to be with you in that relationship. I know sacrifices, adjustment, changes, these are essential things to any relationship, because we are different human beings. We come from different backgrounds. We are coming from different locality. We are coming from different families. So things are going to be different. We're never going to be 100%. That means it will come at a point in our relationship where one person has to adjust to something, or one person has to change entirely, or where somebody has to make sacrifices. So I want you to also know that it takes somebody who really wants to be with you. So you know that in case if you get into a relationship and somebody is not really willing to adjust, they're not willing to make some changes, because yes, there are changes that you will make. I know, I'm not saying you try to change the person, but then if you are wise, you will know that for you to be able to have a successful relationship or marriage, there will come a time when you have to change from something to something, or maybe change a part of you, or change something about you, or something like that. There will come a time that something has to change. It could be you, it could be activities you do, it could be you giving up something, making sacrifices and stuff like that, just for you to be able to be with somebody. Because like I said, you're not from the same place, you didn't grow up the same way, you don't do the same thing and stuff like that. So you need somebody who is willing to make that sacrifices, and it takes only somebody that really loves you and wants to be with you. So in case you start seeing things like they're not willing to adjust, like I said earlier, they're not willing to change, they're not willing to sacrifice things for you, then it's a sign that they are not willing to be with you through thick and thin. And it's not a bad thing, because there are some things that you yourself you might not want to change. There are some things that you might not want to adjust to as a person too. So it's very, very important that we understand. Like I said this, I'm not saying that some of these things are entirely bad, but what I'm trying to say is that there are places where you have to make exception. There are places where you have to see that it's just the fact that people are not compatible. Maybe to somebody else it might work out with them, but to you it probably might not work out. And this is one thing I wish I knew. I wish I really knew this, because it would have helped me in a lot of ways to know that, oh, I've been in this relationship for a while, this person is not willing to do this, and they might not really want to be with me. It's possible they're not willing to put in the work, to put in the sacrifices and stuff like that. And I want to tie this to another point that says you cannot convince someone who is not certain about you to be with you. Like, there are cases where you want to be with somebody, but you have to keep assuring and reassuring them. It's very hard, it's frustrating, because if somebody I know women love assurance. I'm speaking on this based on this. I want to come from this angle where I know that women love to be assured. They like this assurance. Hey, I love you. You're the one for me, and all those stuff. But then we have to draw a line between this assurance and when it becomes too much, and when it becomes doubt, or when it becomes something else. Because I believe that if you're in a relationship with someone, you shouldn't be I know there are times doubt might set in, but then if the person have to convince you all the time, like, hey, we are together, we are doing this, like every time it feels like they are always convincing you and stuff like that, it will not work. You will be frustrated. I know my friend back in the university days in Unizik, she always told me that you don't have to keep trying to convince somebody to be with you or to want to do something with you, because things only work out well when that person want to actually do that thing with you, and not when you have to convince them to do it with you. Because a lot of times it's that way. We are trying to always convince people, and when you convince people and they are not convinced within themselves, or maybe they're just going based on your words, it's difficult for them to actually stay with you. I don't know if this is clear. Like when you are in a relationship with somebody and they are not convinced in themselves that they are supposed to be here, and you're the one that is you're the one that's always trying to convince them to be there, you will end up frustrated in that relationship because it's not gonna work. You probably might spend the rest of your life trying to convince them to stay with you. So it's better you have a relationship where the person you want to be with is interested and convinced that you are the one for them. It's easier that way. So in case you find yourself in a relationship where you have to keep convincing the person, you have to keep telling the person, oh, I'm the one, and they keep doubting what you're saying, I think it's not healthy anymore. I think it's time to leave. I think it's time to think about it very well, because it shows that they're not convinced you're the one for them, and you don't need that kind of energy, to be honest with you. So it's very, very important that you think about this. So our next point today will be you will end up frustrated if you date someone who doesn't have a mind of their own, but listens and is influenced by what other people say about the relationship. Yeah, I really wish I knew this. But then one thing, when I realized this so much, when I don't know if you guys, people probably Nigerians, they will know life coach called Solomon Buchi and Erika, what's that? I don't know how to pronounce the name. Yeah, there was a time they trended on social media about the love notes he sent to her, and a lot of people came for him. They were saying all sort of things. Oh my God, it was just a mess, like what people were saying. But then there's one super thing I picked out from that whole event is how this young lady had a mind of her own. She didn't allow what people were saying to sway her into leaving the relationship she knew was meant for her. Because yes, this same Solomon Buchi has always showered her with praises, like thousands of times. Like he even did, like, I think 24 days or 21 days of love notes to her, saying so many amazing things about her. So, but for just that one thing that people think wasn't rightly said, they believed that she should dump him and leave him and all those stuff. And when I think about it, I'm super sure that there are some women it would be that relationship would have been over, because they listen to outsiders more than they listen to the person they're in a relationship with. That's one of the worst things that can happen to you when you date somebody who pay close attention to what people have to say more than they pay attention to what both of you have agreed to do in your relationship. I experienced this, and I know it's very, very frustrating. And you don't want to be in that situation where you sit down with your partner, you have a conversation, you talk about what you want to do, both of you make a plan. I'm saying a healthy relationship. I know there are relationships that are toxic, where you have to listen to what people are saying, maybe like counsels from wise people, from your parents, from your spiritual authorities, in case where the relationship is toxic. But I'm trying to make reference to a case where the relationship is not toxic, it's a healthy relationship, going super well, and both of you are happy in a sense, and the person listens to outsiders more than they listen to you when you guys already made plan on what to do. But then they come up with, hey, this person said something, and they allow these things they hear to affect how they treat you in that relationship, or to affect how they react to you in that relationship. You don't want to experience it, because I know that it's gonna be a lot of frustration. So I really wish I knew this. So that's Solomon Buchi and the lady. They are happily married today. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, having a mind of your own. So it's very, very important. So if you're getting into a relationship, look for somebody who has a mind of their own. Find somebody who has a mind of their own. Somebody who thinks for themselves. Somebody who, yes, they hear what the audience have to say, what the outsiders have to say, but then they come back and sit down and evaluate it. Think about it in terms of your relationship, in the sense that, okay, people are saying dump him, leave him, or whatever, but then sit down and ask yourself, I've been with this guy for so years, or I've been with this lady for so years, and I've seen how they treat me. They treat me lovingly well, they treat me kind, they cherish me, they do this, they do that, and it's all been rosy. So why do I have to listen to these thousands of people who don't even know the root of our relationship? Why do I have to pay attention to them and stuff like that? Or you can also think about it. I already made plans with this guy. He already told me his future plans, that he will be ready to get married in 3 years, in 4 years, in 5 years, depending. He has given me a breakdown why it can't happen now. So why do I now have to pay attention to people out there who are telling me, well, he's just using you, he's wasting your time? And I know the pressure will come. I'm not saying the pressure will not come and all those stuff. It will come, but it requires somebody who have a mind of their own, who thinks for themselves, who understands their relationship and the communication they have, or the things they share together in that relationship, to know that, okay, I trust my man or I trust my woman, and I know that they are not going to fail me based on this promise they have made. They have been fulfilling their promise in the past. They have not failed in any promise they have made in the past. There's a track record. You know what I'm saying? There's a track record of faithfulness, of help, of sacrifice and stuff like that. Why then do I have to listen to outsiders who don't even know the root of our relationship? So it's very, very important that you know this. Very, very important. And so that you don't get into a relationship and say, no. Talk about these things. That's why I encourage friendship before relationship, because it affords you the opportunity to talk about some of these things with people, to see how they think. When you see how these people think, it makes it easy for you to now know if this person is what you want, if this person can actually be that person for you. I hope you're understanding this. So before we continue, I want to encourage you, if you're enjoying this video and if you're learning from it, please, I'm pleading with you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also subscribe to my podcast platform. And do well to share this video with your friends. Hit the notification bell on YouTube so that you will be notified the next time I make another upload. And also use the like button, like this video, so that YouTube will probably recommend it to more people to come and learn. And for the podcast platforms, please rate this 5-star so that we keep growing and keep getting better. You are free to share this on your WhatsApp status. At least tell your friends about it, that you learned something from this place. All right, let's dive back into this video. So the 7th point we're going to be looking at today is, it's not going to be all rosy at all time. So I learned this too, that love is not always going to be rosy. Love is a beautiful thing. Yes, love is an amazing thing. We discussed it last week. Love is so beautiful, and it's an interesting topic. I know a lot of people say love hurts them. This one hurts them. No, love did not hurt you. Human beings hurt you. Love is beautiful and it's amazing. So, but what I'm trying to say in essence is this, is that it's not going to always be rosy. It's not always going to be sweet. You understand what I'm saying? Let's be realistic. There are times that you will disagree with your partner. There are times tension might arise. There are times that things will happen. Family challenges, relationship challenges will come up here and there. It will happen. Because I saw a movie the other day, I think a Filipino movie, where the lady said she wanted a relationship that is filled with joy, and just joy, no sadness, no hurt and stuff like that. And they signed a contract to have that kind of relationship. But along the line, they experienced their first difficulties. The guy agreed to that kind of relationship because he actually wanted to date the girl. So when they now started experiencing their difficulties, and the girl was like, oh, she wants to leave, it's now difficult. The guy was like, wait, are you trying to leave now? Does it show that you love me or something like that? So, and this has reinforced what I always believe, that love is tested in difficult times, not in sweet times. You can be having shawarma, you can be licking ice cream, you can be going to McDonald's, you can be going on dates and all those sweet stuff. Those things are beautiful. They are part of love. But the truth is that those things don't test the strength of your love. They don't test the efficacy of your love. They don't test how close or how bonded or how together both of you are. They don't. Those things are just nice things. What actually tests the strength of your love is the difficult moments, when things are not going accordingly, when things might be going bad for one person, or when something is not right. Is this person that you say you love, or this person that claims to love you, are they making that decision to stick with you? That's why we see today, like today, once it's not working out fine, just small thing that will happen in their relationship or in their marriage, they're already filing for divorce. They're already filing for divorce. Even when it gets bad or in some situation, their first resort is out. Let me jump out. Let me leave this relationship. Let me leave this marriage. No. Love, the strength of love is tested in difficult moments, in difficult time. If they are willing to stay with you in those difficult times and help you get through those things, that means they love you. They're not just there for the fun moments. They're not just there for the sweet moments. They are there with you in sickness and in health. That's what that's the vow that they recite in churches. I know we're changing it today and people are saying so many things, but then they used to be to love and to cherish, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. So it means in good times and in bad times, you stay with each other. So it's not going to always be rosy. And let me say this, disagreement is healthy in relationship. I know a lot of people think that disagreement is bad. Yeah, no. It's not. Disagreement is a healthy part of a relationship. In fact, if you're in a relationship and there is no disagreement, that relationship is toxic. I know. You probably don't want to hear it. If you're in a relationship and there is no disagreement, that relationship is not real. Why? Because both of you are two different human beings and there is no way you will agree to everything. There is no way. You will always have a different opinion to some certain things, and she will always have a different opinion to certain things. And there will come times where you people will not agree to things. I'm not saying that you people will fight, or you people will quarrel, or you people will punch each other. No. I'm saying for the fact that there is no disagreement in your relationship. Everybody's agreeing to everything. Both of you are agreeing at all time. That means somebody is not being honest. Somebody is lying, or somebody is playing peace card, or somebody is just, let's just go with whatever you say. And it's not actually healthy, because one thing about this thing is that sometimes we think these things are good, but then you discover that over time, these things are packed up in our hearts, that eventually when they are filled up, they explode. And you are shocked, what just happened? No, what happened is that you have been packing up that emotions. You have been letting things slide. You have been trying to play the peace card. But then now your emotions can't take those things anymore. So you explode. Now you want to, no, we can't do this, all stuff. So yeah, disagreement is a healthy part of a relationship. Both of you should come to that point where you disagree, but you shouldn't be fighting. You shouldn't be quarreling as per abusing each other or stuff like that. No, but you are allowed to disagree. Even if you are watching football match, one can be supporting Man U, the other one supporting Chelsea, and both of you are disagreeing happily. So it's a very, very important part of a relationship. So it will not always be rosy. So don't expect it to be so rosy. Challenges will come, trials will come, temptations will come, but you have to know that you can overcome it together. So that's one thing you need to know before you get into a relationship. It won't always be rosy. These things will come, but then you should work together as teammates, as partners, to overcome them. So the next point we'll be looking at today is that it takes two people to make a relationship work. I know this sounds very obvious, but then I think my first ever relationship, I never really knew this, and I know that a lot of people don't know this today, that it takes two people to make a relationship work. I know I normally say it takes two healthy people to have a healthy relationship. One person that is healthy and one person that is toxic cannot have a healthy relationship, because the toxic person will either make the relationship toxic and two toxic people will not be able to have a healthy relationship. It takes two healthy people to have a healthy relationship, just the way it takes two people to make a relationship work, because it has to do with two individuals. So if you come into a relationship and you are the one only making the efforts to keep the relationship, you will only get frustrated over time. You can do what you can do. You can try to be all you can be, but then if the other person is not making inputs, it's a matter of time before you get frustrated and you give up. There's this thing they say, I can't remember it right now, but they say that a forgiving heart also gets tired or something like that. There are times you can take some certain things and it gets to a point you reach your elastic limits and you can't do this anymore. So if you want to make a relationship work, and I'm saying this for many female out there, most times it seems like it's on men to make the relationship work, because yes, they pursue you, they try to treat you well for you to like them and all those stuff. They keep making the effort, making the initiative, while you just relax and you're on the receiving end. sometimes why the guys don't keep coming, or why they don't continue pursuing you or keep doing things for you, is because they have looked at you over time and there is no reciprocity from you. So to be able to have a healthy relationship, there has to be reciprocity. If he's giving you, you're supposed to be giving him. Like I said in my last video about love is about giving. Love is about two unapologetic people who are giving to each other, and when both of them give to each other, they are both receiving from each other. So it takes two people to make a relationship work. If it's not taking two of you, it will not work. Never, it will never work. So that's very, very, very important. Let's rush now. The ninth point we'll be looking at today is that the pain caused by a partner hurts more than the other friends, or the pain caused by a partner hurts more than the pain caused by other friends. But then you have to learn how to practice forgiveness. This became very obvious to me. I know that most times we say marry your friend, do this, do that, do this. I know it's very important, but I discovered something, that it's easier to let go when a distant friend does something to you than when the person that you are in a close relationship does something to you. So that's why most times people feel so hurt when their loved ones hurt them, and it seems like they are finding it very difficult to forgive. Yes, that's true. It hurts more. So what I will encourage you to do is to learn how to practice forgiveness even before you get into that relationship, because see, that person that you love, they will offend you. They will piss you off. They will make you feel like beating them up. But then you have to learn how to forgive your partner. You have to learn how to be patient with them, because forgiveness is part of love. So don't go into a relationship thinking that the person you love won't hurt you. No. They might do something that a random friend might do, and you ignore it and it's not a big deal. But that person you love, if they do it, it will hurt you more, because there's this thing about human beings that feel like, oh, this person is so close to me, they should know me better than, they should know me so well not to do this, or I can't ignore this because this thing has to do with my life, or maybe stuff like that. Like when I think about it, like when a friend of mine does something, I kind of overlook it because it doesn't directly affect me sometimes. But then if it's somebody that I'm in a relationship with, it affects me directly, because that person is the person I share my life with. So it hurts more when they do it. So that's what I mean by it hurts more. It's going to be more painful when the person who you love hurts you. But then you have to get to that point where you practice forgiveness, because forgiveness is an essential part of any relationship that will work. Because if you fail in the area of forgiveness, man, that relationship will just become something else, and strife will just develop, and before you know it, you're hating on each other and the relationship packs up. So just know that they will offend you and you have to forgive them. So the final points that we'll be looking at today is that you can only have a godly relationship with a godly person. I don't know why I'm leaving this last, but yeah, that is what it is. You cannot have a godly relationship. You cannot say you want to have a godly relationship and you want to get unequally yoked with an unbeliever. It will never work. Unless the problem maybe later on the person gives their life to Christ or something like that. If you're really interested in building a godly relationship, you need somebody who is also godly. Somebody, when I say godly relationship, I'm not talking about people that go to church, because that's the mistake a lot of people make. When we hear godly relationship, people are only thinking about people that go to church and people that sing in the office, in the choir and stuff like that. No, that's not those. You don't use offices of people to determine if they are godly or not. You use their relationship with God to know if they are godly or not. So if you want to build a godly relationship, find somebody who has a relationship with God too on a personal level, and get involved with that person and build that relationship godly. I'll be talking more on building a godly relationship in another podcast, and I will dive more in depth in that topic, so that I'll break it down what a godly relationship should look like, or what it should be like, and I hope that you will learn so much from it. So I'm super excited that we are finally... Oh, am I excited? I don't think I'm excited. We are coming to the end of today's podcast, and I'm sure that you probably have learned a lot of things from today's podcast, and I hope that you get to think about these things, watch out for these things before you get into a relationship, so that tomorrow you not say, I wish somebody told me this earlier. Now listen to it and know it, so that it becomes a part of you and you're able to apply it in your next relationship. Like I said, learn to build friendship before a relationship. That way you can talk with people, examine them based on these things to see before you get into a relationship. You'll not probably see everything, but then you'll be learning some things about them before you eventually dive into the relationship. I hope you are blessed. If you are blessed by this video, I would really like if you leave a comment below. Just drop a comment down there. Tell me what you have learned from this video. Tell me which part of this thing speaks most to you. Tell me which of these that you probably have ignored in the past that you are looking forward to apply now. Just tell me something. Tell me something. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast platforms. Don't forget to rate it over there on the podcast. Don't forget to turn the notification bell on YouTube, and don't forget to share with your people so that they will learn too. I'm super excited that we are doing this now, and I'm giving more time to this. So thank you guys for staying with me up to this moment. If you stayed up to this moment, see you in the next episode. Bye.